Hello, in this video, I will cover how to perform cluster analysis using BASE-R. So cluster analysis is to identify groups or clusters of observations and or variables in the data. And cluster analysis is a type of unsupervised learning. And you can do cluster analysis by observations. You can do clustering by variables, and you can do bi-clustering, in which you can cluster both observations and the variables together. Okay. So for this video, I'll just cover the very basic cluster analysis using BASE-R. Okay, let's set a random seed first and generate 3 clusters, cluster 1, cluster 2, and cluster 3. And then we put the 3 clusters together and call it the data. And we can add a cluster identifier for references. This is optional. And then we just use the data with no labels, okay, for the actual cluster analysis. Okay. And then we can plot out the data with no labels. Look like that. So yeah, we cheated. We just generate 3 cluster of data sets so far apart from each other. Okay, make it easier. And we can set another random seed, and then we can use the k-means function in R, and the syntax is pretty simple. Just k-means the data set, and then we say centers equals 3, and n start equal to 25. Okay. And it's very quick. And then we can add the cluster assignments to the original data set, because once you've done the k-means, you actually generate a cluster variable assigning the data point to clusters. We add that. We assign that to this data no label at cluster variable. And then we can plot out the results. Look like that with different colors. And we can mark the cluster centers. Okay. Another way is to do hierarchical clustering. So to do that, we need calculate distance matrix. So cluster analysis based on the distances among the data points. So we have to find a way to define and compute the distances. And we have a BASE-R function called the dist for calculating the distance between all the points in this data set, data no labels, and we assign that into a distance matrix. And we can perform the hierarchical clustering by using the HCLUST cluster. And the syntax is pretty simple. We can use hclust distance matrix and method equal to word.d2. Okay, so this is tells us which method we're going to use. And you can pull up the help documentation to learn about the ins and outs about this H cluster function. And then we can plot out the hierarchical clustering called the dendrogram. Yeah, look like that. So it's like a tree starting from 1 cluster to 2 cluster, and eventually it end up with like 3 clusters, and it goes deep down. Okay, and we can cut the tree at 3 clusters, and then we can assign the cluster variable into the data set, and we plot out the data based on the cluster analysis. Okay. So this is a very basic implementation of the basic cluster analysis using base R. This is a good start. Thank you.